I'm now in Zurrieq in the south of Malta, and this is a place that is quite off the beaten path for Malta, and not a lot of tourists go here. I don't know why, because there's a couple of windmills, there's old churches, old palazzos, and also the Blue Grotto is very nearby. So this is a cool day trip from Malta for you guys, and I'll show you where to go. First off, there's buses going here, multiple ones. There's the 71, 73, 74, and the 74 also goes to the Blue Grotto and the Hagar Temple ruins, which is also where I'm going to go later on. The buses leave every hour, so you should time it well. I've noticed that the Maltese have quite interesting license plates. Some are actual names, some are just random numbers that kind of look funny, and see for yourself. One of the many windmills in Zurrieq is Sabi Windmill, which you can find here. And well, it doesn't really look like much anymore, but if you're in a bus and you see these little tower-like shapes, these are old windmills. They just don't have the actual windmill part to it anymore, but it doesn't make them less of a windmill. It just doesn't make them functional. In 1579, the Barakwa Tower was established by the Order of St. John as living quarters, but of course in Malta everything was fortified. This one was a bit outside, so that's not good in case there was any siege. So they had their own fortifications, like a small door, like their own walls and everything. And even when the British occupied it, they used it as private residences. Right now it looks like they're doing renovations. It looks quite empty actually, and you can't go inside. Alright, let's be honest here, Zurrieq is not really exciting. It's super residential, it's not excessively pretty. You really have to stick to the map to actually see good things like the windmills, the mansions, and you can also do a hike a little bit out to the countryside to see all the ruins, which are not very a typical place to go in Malta, which is cool. But if you just want to have a stroll through a very local, very rural area, maybe go somewhere else. So let's go to the grotto, shall we? Don't miss this bus stop. It is right by the main road, but super hidden behind the palm trees. This is the direction towards the Blue Grotto, and the one over there is going back to town. A good idea is to take the bus 74, get off at Panorama, which is the second stop, and then you can take some awesome snaps. You can just go down here and get really close to the edge, but not that close, you know. See that in the distance? Someone just climbed over the wall because they wanted to take a selfie on the edge of the rock, which is absolutely stupid because it doesn't really make a difference, and second, it endangers yourself and others because others need to come and fetch your corpse or hurt body to rescue you, which is why do people do that? Please don't do that. It's not worth it. Just a photo. And then you take the 201 to go to the Grotto restaurants, and where you can take the boats to just dine, and from there you can walk for 20 minutes to Hagar, or you can just take the Grotto and go straight to Hagar. To get to the stop Grotto from the Panorama stop, it's just one stop, it just takes like a minute. And this is a place where you can actually find restaurants and snack shops if you are hungry and didn't pack your lunch. So mark that. So I just ordered something local, but I can't pronounce it. This is local fried cheese and crostinis. and it looks really delicious. Good, it's good. If you're not quite hungry yet, then you can take one of the few hiking trails towards the grotto. You will stand on top of it, so you can't really see it. You have to go on top of that cliff to do that, but it's still a pretty awesome view over the cliffs and ocean. A great way to explore Malta Island is by boat. You can cruise around the shores, you can dip into the grottos such as the Blue Grotto in Malta, and you can visit neighboring islands. I put together a few recommendations on my blog with a lot more recommendations of what to pack for Malta, when to go in Malta, where to go, all of these things. Give me a like and thumbs up to see more, and let's get moving. The visitor center, you can go in, pay your entrance fee, and then you can walk around. It's quite a big area, so pack your hiking shoes. At the Information Interpretation Center, there is a short video which you really should watch. It's interesting because it shows you the different chapters in the life of Hagar Qim. Hagar Qim dates back to 3600 to 3200 before Christ. It was a site where people used to pray. It was pretty elaborate for its time, and then a few millennia later it was forgotten and buried, so they discovered it in 1893 and then proceeded with the excavations. Nowadays you can visit it, but sadly, because they chose limestone, most of it has been eroded and weathered over time, so that's why they put up this huge tent to protect it even more from the weather, from rain and wind and all of that, so we can still admire it. The monitor the weather conditions at all times. You can see these little towers that are measuring the wind speed. Now I'm inside the first chambers, which were called the apses, and these holes are the doorway. This used to be an altar, and if you look closely you can see they carved in a plant or a tree. When you are doing your research about Hagar Qim, you maybe have found those images of the obese women without a head for some reason. These were found here, and now you can see them in the Museum of History in Valletta. The megalithic temple site of Hagar Qim is one of the oldest religious sites in the world and is a recognized UNESCO World Heritage Site in Malta. Hagar Qim and Imanja are located right next to each other. You can just go in at Hagar Qim and then take the road over to the other religious site. Don't forget to keep your ticket to enter both Hagar Qim and Imanja. Otherwise you can't go into either because they check it 3 times in total. And this site is called iz-Zurrieq. The south temples really in line with the rising sun during equinox, and during solstice a small ray of light actually enters straight through the temple, and there's a small illumination happening in there. That's pretty impressive architecture right there. Not all of what you see at iz-Zurrieq has been retained as original. Some of it has been reconstructed to give you a better idea of its dimensions and how the walls were constructed. religious sites, super impressive. The landscape all around is quite stunning with all the typical stone walls which are very common from Malta, and they usually signify structures and enclosures for agricultural plots. Behind me you can see three important things. The first, Hagar Tower, and I probably mispronounced that already. Then there is a memorial because one major of Malta was buried at sea over there. And then there is the smallest island in the archipelago of Malta, which is Filfla Island. Now it's protected, but back in the day they found pottery, so people must have lived there. Then in the Middle Ages there was a little chapel on it, and then in the 20th century the Royal Navy used it as a target practice. If you still have some time to kill because buses leave every hour, or you just like walking in nature, you can follow the small path next to Niger and walk up to the monument. My verdict: both these UNESCO heritage sites are absolutely worth it. The price might look steep, but it's truly impressive. Also, these coastal walks are just stunning, and you can see an arch from there as well as the next town, and the views are marvelous. That was my little video about a day trip from Malta to Blue Grotto and Hagar Temple ruins. I hope you liked it. Give me a thumbs up, subscribe and follow for more videos because there is an entire series of Malta videos. I hope you like them. Click also through to the blog with the complimentary and complimenting and more informational blog posts about where to go, what to do, what to pack, and all of the things about travel to Malta. I hope you stay travel-tastic. See you soon and bye!